Today at Pulaski County High School, we have Miss Pam Hall in with us to talk about the Pulaski County Humane Society. Tell us a little bit about your mission.
Our mission, I would say, is to try to do the best we can to support the animals in Pulaski County, and also to help the community of Pulaski County with the various things that we offer, like spay and neuter clinics, shot clinics. We give out free food to folks who are having trouble feeding their animals when the economy's gotten bad. We've had people who've come to the shelter. We've been able to give them food so that they can continue to feed their animals and not have to surrender them to the shelter. Just doing what we can to help the animal population there in the county. And also, I'd say too, through the spay and neuter clinics, we're trying to cut down on the excess animals, like the feral cats and too many puppies and things like that, so that they don't end up at the shelter anyway. Vaccinations and that kind of thing.
Can you tell us a little bit about the adoption process?
Sure, yeah. There's a couple ways you can do this, and this goes for both cats and dogs. If you want to adopt, there's an adoption fee for the animal control clinic, because when the animals come into our shelter, our building, let's put it that way, they start out being part of animal control. And so there's a $15 fee for that. If, depending on the animal, the dog or the cat, if you want to adopt, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can either get them fixed at the clinics that we have there, or you can go to your vet and get a paper, and it's kind of like setting up an appointment saying that, yes, I'm going to get this animal fixed, bring it to the shelter, and then you have to fill out an application form. And the application form takes about 48 hours to get checked. We check to see if you live in an apartment, if the landlord's okaying you to have this type of a cat or a dog. We check with your veterinarians to see how well you've taken care of your animals in the past. Obviously, we don't want to give animals to someone who's going to tie a dog or up outside all the time, or not take nice, good care of a cat and such. And so after everything is checked and you're approved, then with the paper that you would bring from your doctor saying that you're going to get the cat or the dog fixed, plus the application, then normally it's only $15. And then you can have the animal, and then you're expected to take them and get them neutered. We've had people who wanted to adopt animals from the shelter, but they want to breed them, and we don't do that, and it's mainly because we have so many animals that we're trying to find homes for now. We don't want it to turn, some people would turn it into a puppy mill situation, breed and sell, and that's not what we want our animals to go to. So now also we have the clinics, okay, there's a couple different clinics we can talk about, but the spay neuter clinic that we have there, you can bring the dog back. We have spay neuter clinics twice a month, and I'm thinking that maybe after your application is approved, you might be able to take the dog home with the guarantee that you would bring him back to our clinic. If you're going to go through our clinic, with the clinic and the adoption fee at all, it sounds like a lot of money. It comes out to be about $100 for the cat or the dog, depending on the size and the type of animal. But the clinic will spay or neuter your animal, does the pain medication, does rabies shots, and all that kind of stuff. So it's a pretty good deal. It's much cheaper than if you were to go to a regular veterinarian. You're talking $100, $200, $300 for something like that. So that's another way we try to help the community, by having the spay neuter clinics and try to keep them as low as we can. So that's the two ways. You can get them for about $100, give or take. You can get the cat or dog through the clinic, our clinics and such, and that includes the fee and stuff. Or, as I said, you can get the paper from your vet and get it done that way. Let me see. Okay, that's pretty much how you would adopt. Now, we also have a fostering program, and a lot of people do that. I've actually done that, and I'm considered a failed foster because I foster these dogs and then I end up adopting them. But that's a good thing. But fostering is a good deal because what that does, it gets the cat or the dog out of the shelter. Okay, gets them out of those cages. and gives them an opportunity to have some, get socialized, have some family time and stuff. And another good thing is that it opens up a crate, a cage, if we end up with another cat or another dog, because we're not a no-kill situation. So when we get full, especially with the cats, when we get full, we end up having to put them down. So the more animals that we can foster out, whether they're cats or dogs, the more opportunities we have to take in other cats and dogs and hopefully find homes for them. But with the foster program, you would, again, you have to get an approved application and you have to pay the $15 because that goes to animal control. But after that, you take the cat or the dog home and the Humane Society will give you food, and they'll pay for most medical. Now you have to call us to get it approved. I mean, you can't take the dog to the vet to get his nails, painted and, silly things like that. But if there's some major medical needs, we will help, if not pay for the whole thing, we will help with the medical bill for that cat or that dog. So a lot of people do that because they'll kind of like, well, gosh, I really like this dog, but they're not sure because, maybe the size. And, when you see a dog in a cage there at the shelter, they're barking and they're just crazy. They look like they're crazy nuts, but they're in a box all the time. They get walked and stuff, and the cats too. The cats are in the boxes all the time. But anyway, and they'll start barking and stuff, but that's not normally their real personality. So you have to kind of get them out and walk them and stuff. And so a lot of times people take them home and foster them to see if it's really going to work. And then hopefully it does work, and then they go through and they can adopt them from there. So the fostering program is a pretty popular program too, just so you can kind of see how you fit with the animal, and if they fit with your other animals and such like that. So.
I actually used to volunteer at the animal shelter. Could you tell us a little bit about the volunteer program?
Sure. Yeah, that's big with us. If we didn't have the volunteers to help us, we'd be in a heap of trouble because we do a lot of fundraisers, car washes, the yard sale. We had a yard sale back in July, and we made $1,500, but we couldn't have done it without volunteers. And we had a car wash a few weeks ago, made $1,000. And again, a lot of volunteers, and we are a nonprofit organization. We don't get money from anybody but the community. So having volunteers to help with the fundraisers and actually even helping with stuff at the shelter, which is probably what you did. To volunteer, you have to, I hate to say this because I know there's a lot of kids here at the high school who would like to do it, but you have to be 18 to be able to do this, okay? I know there's a few exceptions with some of the classes that we have here, like service learning and such. Some of those kids go there and they're probably not 18, but they're close to being 18. But if normally you have to be 18 or you have to have an adult with you, and a lot of that's just liability, and we get a lot of but we get some middle school kids, things like that, who come in and they want to volunteer. Well, they are a little young to be doing it by themselves. So with that said, the volunteering program, you would fill out an application and it's checked, but I don't, unless you say on there that you're, a crazy person, you're gonna get approved. And you just do all kinds of stuff there. You can walk dogs if you're able. The big thing that I'm always trying to push is the cats. Go back there and pet those cats, because unfortunately the cats never get out of their cages. There's one, I'm going to do a little plug here. There's one cat that has been in that cage for a year. Okay, and so just going back there and petting the cats, interacting with the cats is big, walking the dogs. Sometimes you have to do some nasty stuff like cleaning out kitty litter boxes. Sometimes you may get asked to do some laundry depending on your age and what your abilities are and stuff. Sometimes you may just be stuffing envelopes or putting the stamps on letters, that we're sending out, flyers and things like that. So there's a wide range of stuff, but every single thing that the volunteers do is a huge help to us. It gives the workers there time to do other things. Again, like the car washes, it helps to, get us more money. It's just volunteers are huge there and very, very appreciated. So it's, we're always looking for volunteers, all ages. Oh, and one other thing too that I'd like to, another plug is we have We have kids who, students, kids, whatever, that will come in and they'll do birthday parties. We don't do birthday parties at the shelter, but I think it's such a neat idea. We had this one little girl, and I think we've had a few others that will do a birthday party for themselves, but instead of getting presents for themselves, they ask for donations for the animal shelter. And I know right now that there's a club here that's doing a fundraiser for supplies and stuff. So there's lots of different ways, you know, of not maybe necessarily volunteering by physically coming to the shelter, but there's a lot of other things that you can do to, you know, help out for collecting needs and stuff, kitty litter and all that stuff that we always need all the time. So that's pretty cool. The only other thing that I can think of that I really would want to put a plug in for is we have, like I said, we have the spay and neuter clinic. We have that twice a month. We also have a clinic called the Rocky Clinic. And we're not real regular with that because it's a grant. We have to write a grant to get the money to have the clinic. But we're actually having one in October, and that's a shot clinic. And those are very, very popular because you can come in with your cats and dogs and you can get rabies shots for $5, which is huge. They usually run, $70, $80, $90, depending on what you're getting. If you've come in with your paperwork showing that you've already had one rabies shot, then you can get get a rabies shot there, and it's still $5, but it's for 3 years. But if it's their first rabies shot, then it's $5 for 1 year. And again, that's another thing that we do for the community. We're trying to help the community financially because we know, a lot of people don't, you can't afford to just go to a vet and spend $200, $300 on an animal. But it also helps to protect the animals, keep their rabies shots up and their distemper and things like that. So that's another thing we do to help the community and help protect the animals.
Is there any additional information you'd like to share?
Yeah, well, we're sitting here talking. I forgot to tell you about the hours. We are open on Mondays from 10 to 6. We stay open a little later on Mondays. Tuesday through Friday is 10 to 4, and then Saturdays is 10 to noon. Now, hopefully we're going to change that up a little bit because we're really trying, we want to get to a point where we can stay open a little bit later, like either on the Saturdays or another weeknight for people to come in after 4. But for right now, Mondays are late night till 6, rest of the time is till 4, and Saturdays till noon. And I just would say, just come on in. I mean, we've got all kinds of animals. We've got, and there, luckily we have a lot of animal rescues that come to our shelter because we're not a no-kill, and they'll take dogs and cats to their rescues, and they can find homes for them, so we don't have to put them down. So we've got some dogs that have been there quite a while, but we try to do a turnover. I'm real proud. I'm on the board of directors for the shelter, and I'm very proud of how well we do the turnover for the dogs. But there's no telling what's there. I mean, your forever friend could be there, And the cats too. Like I said, the cats kind of break my heart because they don't get as much attention. They don't get to get out and get walked and stuff. And I think I would say what I'd like to have people realize is that when you come to our building, there's a cat condo, and there's a lot of cats there, and most of them have been neutered, and so they're really kind of ready to go as far as being adopted. But we have 3 more rooms in the back full of cats. Yeah, 3 more rooms full of cats. So if you come to the shelter looking for a cat, make sure that you go in the back because we have some wonderful cats in the back too. But we love them. We take as good care of them as we can, but we depend on you guys to try to come and check them out, take them home, either adopt them or foster them and give them some loving. So I appreciate letting me do this. This has been good. Thank you.
You've brought a lot of attention to everyone out there about the animal shelter and how important it is to adopt and other important things. So thank you.
Thank you.